Hello everyone. Myself Abdul Azim, and I am a senior iOS developer at GeeksforGeeks, and this is, I guess, session number 8 of our series, iOS development for beginners, our YouTube series. So, first, before we go forward, let's first recap what we have, talked about or discussed so far in this series. So, in the start of this series, we have started with the introduction of iOS development, and in that session, we have talked about the scope of the iOS development and what you need to learn iOS development. What are the requirements? What are the basic requirements uh, uh, to fulfill to dive into the field? Like you should have a MacBook and Air or Pro, and then of course you have a MacBook, and then you should learn Swift before starting iOS development, because Swift is the language that you're gonna code in uh, when you are diving into the iOS development. And we have talked about the scope and the what is the scope. What is the scope of jobs in this domain? What how it will look for you in the job market once you are done with the iOS development, or once you have some skills in iOS development, once you are you once you are ready to be a iOS developer at an organization. So what will be the scope, what will be the number of jobs for you, or what will be the numbers in the salary for you after learning this domain or diving into this domain? And after that, we have learned about setting up Xcode and the development environment for iOS development. Like we have talked about Xcode, feasibilities of Xcode, how it is different from other development environment or IDE, and how it is elegant and better than other IDEs. And we have talked about Swift basics, like variables, constants, operators, data types, and control flow statements like if else statements, switch, and loops, etc. And we have discussed in details about optionals, functions, closures, and then we have learned about structures and classes in Swift, and the basic concepts of structures and classes, basics and advanced, and properties in Swift. And then we have discussed about we had an introductory session about the interface builder and the storyboard. And then we have in our last session, we worked upon some UI elements. We made a basic project, like navigating between two screens, basically between login and sign up screens. We have used buttons, labels, text fields there, and we have talked about their properties, or what will you be the properties that will be necessary to know or to work with when you will be creating some advanced apps. And in this session, we will be talking about the view controllers, the core logic of view controllers, the back logic of view controllers. What is the story that is going on behind the screen? Like how it is at storyboard level, how it is at code level, what is inbuilt method, how they perform, what is the properties, what are the properties of your view controllers, or what will be the properties that you should know or you will be communicating with when you are performing some navigation between different view controllers. We will talk about all that, and life cycle of view controllers, of course. And after that, after this session, we will be creating some navigation based app. We will be talking about navigation in deep in iOS, how navigation works between different screens. And then we will talk about, of course, the data persistence and user defaults. We will talk about core data, how to data persistence means how you're gonna store some data at your local device. Like sometimes you need to store some data at your device at local storage, and you need to fetch that data when you need from the local device. You don't always need that कि आपको सर्वर से डाटा फेच करना पड़े, एंड समटाइम्स your server calls may fail. So in that case you will need some data in the local. So we will be we'll be talking about that, why you need that, and we'll be discussing technical requirements, and we'll be discussing technical implementations. Basically we will be talking about mainly two technicalities, that is two two ways how to store and perform some actions at local storage. That is, one is user defaults and another one is core data. Core data is very very much important when when you are working on an iOS app and you want to store some data at your local. And storing data at local is very important, like when you want to perform some caching in your app, like Instagram do, or many apps do. Like when you open Instagram, and if your internet connection is very slow, so you will see a toast message that the feed the field could not be fetched, or the feed could not be refreshed. बट आपको अपनी होम स्क्रीन, इंस्टाग्राम की होम स्क्रीन पर डाटा दिख रहा होता है, एम्प्टी स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही होती है. सो सर्वर से डेटा नहीं आया, सर्वर कॉल फेल हो गई है, बट स्टिल यू आर सीइंग सम डाटा. दैट डेटा इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द लोकल स्टोरेज, दैट इज कैश्ड डेटा. So that's how you use these are the some cases where you have to use data persistence, or you have to perform some actions on local storage to fetch data or to store data into local device. Okay, and after that we'll be talking about some advanced UI elements like table views and collection views, basically to make a list in your apps, to build list in your apps, or grids in your apps. To create list in your apps we use table views, and to create grids in apps we use collection views. So we will be talking about that. And after that we will know, or we will talk about, we will code something on how to perform http request, how to make http request on server, like to call some data, like to like fetch some data or to post some data. So we will be integrating some fetch APIs, get APIs to fetch some data from the server, and we will be doing that using URL session. That is a tool, you know that is a tool, or method, some methods provided by Swift to perform HTTP request, to call HTTP, to make HTTP request. We make HTTP request basically to to play, or to play with APIs, or to make it interface between the client, that is app, and the servers, so that we can perform operations on the data that is stored on the server. So that let's say if I want to fetch that data that is stored on the server, and I want to show it in my app, so I have to make a HTTP request, a get request to fetch, to get that data from the server. And let's say if I want to perform some operation to modify that data, I have to make post request to the server. And we do that by making HTTP request in our code. So so we will be writing some code to make HTTP calls, API calls in our code and in our projects. And then uh, we will be talking about passing JSON data after HTTP request, because when we make HTTP calls, API calls, we receive some data, some raw data from the server, and that raw data is in would be in JSON format. So we should know how to pass that JSON format, how to JSON data into our local models, so that we can play with that data in our code, in our Swift code. So first we have to pass that JSON data into our Swift models, and then we will do some operation like populating that data into the UI, onto the UI, or or performing some other operation like modifying that data before populating to UI. So first, after making HTTP calls and receiving data from the server, the first thing that we will do, we will passing that data into our local models. And at last, we will be talking about App Store Connect. App Store Connect is a tool provided by Apple, through which you can send your app to App Store for App Store review, and you can send your app to App Store. You can publish your app on App Store. Because before publishing your app, you need to review it by Apple, and to send your app to Apple for App Store review, you have to send it through App Store Connect. App Store Connect is a tool that gives you that liability, where you can upload your build or upload some information about your app to tell Apple what your app is going to do, or what is your app is about. And Apple review your app, and according to their guidelines, if your app fits well, so the app will be approved. And after getting approval from the App Store, then you can publish your app on App Store uh, by using App Store Connect. App Store Connect basically will be your guide to to send your app for review and to publish your app on App Store. Okay, so that will be all content of our series, that we have discussed so far, and some of that we will be discussing in our later on sessions. So before we start discussing about the view controllers, I will take you to this course. Let me share my screen. This is an iOS development course for beginners provided by Geeks4Geeks. You can find it on Geeks4Geeks portal for free. So you can also subscribe for this channel to learn about Swift and iOS development, to start with iOS development, to with some content, with some written content and all. So yes, I'm providing the link in the comment section. Okay. Okay, now let's start our let's start talking about view controllers. So first, let me share my screen. Okay, let me open this Xcode. Okay, let me share. Okay, let's create new Xcode project. Select iOS here, select app here, next, hit next, and product name, let's say view controller discuss. View controller demo. Okay, and we are choosing storyboard here and Swift here, and next, and create. Okay, project has been created. So before we go on to the code, let's first discuss about the view controller in the storyboard. So to create a screen, first you have to create a view controller in your storyboard. You can find it here at the top right corner at this plus icon. If you hit it, and you can find a view controller here. So you can just pick one and drag and drop here. Okay, so this is your view controller. View controller is uh, basically interface which will be controlling your screen at UI level and at the code level, which will be performing all the UI and the business logics. So if we talk about the storyboard at the left side, you can see this is the hierarchy of your view. This is view controller scene. See, and there is a view embedded in it. This is the parent view of your UI of your screen here, and you can set any background color to it. Let's say if I set it system gray, So it will be system gray. Let's run it. You'll be seeing a gray screen. See, there is a gray screen onto the gray color onto the screen. So in the hierarchy in the view controller, there is a view embedded in it, which will be like a container of your whole UI of the screen. So, and if I select the top bar, the first icon of the top bar, that is view controller, and I go there, so I go to identity inspector, and you see there is a class view controller. Here, the you can you can assign it to any view controller class, and this class will be the code file that will be performing all the business logic of this UI screen, of this screen, and which will be controlling all the UI elements through code, which will be uh, which will be performing some operation on the UI through code. This will be the class, and you have to mention that class here in the class, in this class property. And there is another identity property, that is storyboard ID. I will let you know, I will tell you what is the use of this storyboard ID. Storyboard ID is and we will use it in this session. Storyboard ID is basically the identifier of your storyboard, through which you can through which you can identify your view controller throughout in your app, throughout in your project, that के हम किस view controller की बात कर रहे हैं. To when you are going to initiate or instantiate a view controller, you have to give that storyboard ID to that instantiate method to tell that we are talking about this storyboard, this view controller in the storyboard. So let's just say first VC. I'm giving it this. We will use it. Just don't worry. And if I go here in the attribute inspector, you will see this. There is top bar, a bottom bar, which you can set the styles, and there is title. Title is the title of your screen, which you can set here. We will set it. We will set it through code, and you will see how it looks. And there is initial view controller property, which tells when your storyboard starts, or when your app when your app initiates. uh, this is initial view controller check tell which view controller is the first view controller that is going to be the root view controller, or the initial point, or the entry point of your app. So if I'm telling, hey, this is initial view controller, this view controller, that means this is the entry point of my app. Let's just say, let's uncheck this. Let's uncheck this and run it. You will see there is just a black screen in the app, and there is nothing rendering, because we have unchecked his initial view controller, and now my app doesn't know what is the entry point of this app, because we have deleted the entry point of our app. So just check it again, and now if I run it again, you will see. Okay, now if I go forward, this is the transition style and presentation. Like uh, when we perform navigation, when you can push or present another screen onto the one. So this presentation property tells how it will look. It will cover full screen, or it will just cover uh, it will, or it will leave behind some space. So this is the property that will tell you how you want to perform your navigation. Like you want to present the next screen or the other screen all over the screen, or not all over the screen. Like you want to show it at like a modal, not the full screen. And transition style is the animation, basically how it will come. Like when you are presenting some other screen, how it will come on the top. Like it will come from the from the bottom, or it will come from the right, or it will come as as the pagination. So these are the animations that you can set here. We will use it. Just don't worry, we will create another screen, and we will perform a navigation, and we will use these. And okay, let's discuss about the code properties of view controllers. So this is the view controller, and if I go into this is a view did load method of view controller, which is a lifecycle method, and there are more lifecycle method as well. We will discuss about those. If just a sec. If I go into the definition of this, let's say jump to definition of this UI view controller, you will see there is view did load. View did load is a lifecycle method which runs when you initializes a view controller. When you are a view controller initiate, this is the first method that in the lifecycle that will you know that will fire. And after of course after init method, after initialize that, this will be the first lifecycle method that will be fired. And there is a storyboard property which we will use to instantiate some view controller from the storyboard. Because if you want to instantiate some view controller from the storyboard in your code, so you want to have some reference to point to the storyboard. So this is the property that each view controller have, which will be through which you can instantiate view controllers from storyboard. And there are perform seg, should perform seg, prepare, can perform segue. These are the methods that we use when we perform navigation. When we want to send some data, perform segue is a method which you call when you want to perform some navigation through segues in navigation container. We will be talking about these methods, segue methods, in our next session. And prepare for segue is a method through which you can send some data from one view controller to another when you are navigating from one to another. And these are other lifecycle methods that are that is view will appear, view did appear, view will disappear, view did disappear. We will talking about these just right away after this introduction. And of course we will okay, just talk in brief. Just let's discuss a little bit about those here, just right away. View will appear is a method which will after view did load. This is the method in the life cycle of a view controller which will be called. This is the method which is called which will be calling by itself uh, just after the view has been loaded. That means view has been loaded and it isn't appeared yet, so it is about to appear. Okay. And then view did appear is a lifecycle method which will be fired after the view just has been appeared. And view will disappear as is a method which will be fired uh, just before the view is going to disappear. Like if you are popping back some view, if you are dismissing a view controller, or if you are presenting another view controller over the one, so the previous one is going to disappear. And view did disappear is the lifecycle method which will be called just after your view controller has been disappeared. Title is the property that we have discussed in here in view controller. Like here, title is the property of view controller which you can set. Okay. Okay, so let's go to you know go to the view controller file to discuss about the lifecycle method. So view did load is a lifecycle method. View did load is the one which will be called when the view has been loaded and it isn't appeared yet. So this is the method where you can do some stuff to load views. To, let's say, if I want to set background color, let's say background self dot background. Okay, self dot view dot background color equals to, let's say, dot blue. And also self dot, you can set title here, let's say my view controller. So if I run it, will see you, you are seeing the blue color on the screen that we have set here, but you are not seeing the title yet, because there is no navigation bar yet that we have not set any navigation bar in our storyboard. So let's just set a navigation bar. So to set the navigation bar or the title bar, what you have to do, you have to embed your view controller into the navigation container. So go to editor, select your view controller, and go to editor and embed in navigation controller, and see. Now now if you run this app, you are seeing here my view controller. See, because we have set it from the code. Okay, so view did load, we in view did load we do some stuff that we want to perform just just before the app, just before the screen appears. Okay, like loading some views or setting some, not loading, like setting some views, view properties like background color, like view properties, like some label stuff, like if I want to set some label titles, I want to set some screen title, etc. The properties of storyboard that I want to set, I set here in view did load. And after that, there is override view will appear. Sorry, yes. And after that, sorry, super dot view will appear. And there is another one that is override view did appear, super view did appear. Then override func view will disappear, super will disappear. Override view view did disappear, super view did disappear. Okay, now if I, let's say, print view has been loaded, print view has been appeared, and print view, okay, sorry, view will be appeared. Your view will appear. View has been appeared. See, if you see here into the console, you are seeing view has been loaded, view will appear, and view has been appeared. So this is the hierarchy, this is the order of life cycle method. First view did load will be fired, then view will appear will be fired, and then view did appear will be fired. So setting up some properties of UI, that's what we do inside the, you know that's what we do inside view did load. And in view will appear, we do some stuff like, let's say I want to initiate some some spinner, some loader. So I do that into view will appear, that let's say if your screen is being appeared, or a screen is being loading, and what I want to do, I want to show spinner before the data has been loaded if I am making some API calls. So that stuff you can do in view will appear. And in view did appear, what we do basically after the view has been appeared or has been loaded completely, what you can do, you can, if you want to make some layout changes, so you can do that here. Like let's say after I want to do that, after the data has been loaded, I want to, let's say after the view has been appeared, I want to change the, I want to make some changes in the layout. So that's what you can do into view did appear if you want to make some changes in your layout. And there is another one that is did layout subviews. This is the method which will be fired every time if you are making some changes into your layout, into your view. Every time, let's say if you are going from portrait mode to landscape mode, this method will be called. Let's say if you are opening a drawer, this method will be called. So layout subviews is a method which will be called every time if there is a change in the layout, whether if that is that is whether it is loading another a completely new view, or let's say it is just there is just a minor change in the in a view which is already been loaded. So every time there is a change in the layout, this view did layouts of views method will be called. So these are some these are some life cycle methods of a view controller. There are others too, and view will disappear and view did disappear will be called when your screen has been dismissed. We will be seeing it, we will go through with it after when we will be dismissing some screen, or when we'll be popping back some screens. Let's create another screen and make some navigation. Let's say this is another screen, create view controller for it. Second VC, sorry, go here, Cocoa Touch class. Second VC, next. Okay, cancel. Yeah, view controller. Okay, next. Next. And go here. Click on this second view controller. Go to identity inspector and put here second VC. Sorry, second VC. And in storyboard, put second VC. Okay, now go to the first view controller, and what I want to do, let's put a button here. इसका बैकग्राउंड हम सेट कर देते हैं system grade 2. No, change it to system mint. Okay, put a button here, button, change the text of the button, go to second VC, and put one button here. Go back to first VC. And now if we go here, and create IB action. Assistant, drag and drop here, create an action that is, let's say, go to second VC button, connect. Now come here, and what I want to do, I want to, going I want to navigate to the second screen, second view controller. So to do that, what I want to do, I want to first create the instance of that second screen, that second view controller, then I want to perform navigation to that screen. So first let second VC storyboard dot instantiate view controller with identifier. And if we go to identifier, the identifier of this view controller is second VC. Okay, put here second VC as second VC. Okay, now we have embedded our view controller into the, you know, into a navigation container. So there are two types of navigation. In deep, we will be discussing in the next session about navigation, but there are two types of navigation. First, you can present it modally, or you can push it into the stack. So first, let's present it modally. So self dot present view controller, that is second VC, animated true. Now okay, the second VC is optional, so let's just put it into the optional binding. If let second VC, that is if we will be able to make this instance of second VC perfectly successfully. So now let's run it. And here, if I, if I make an action on this button, go to second VC. So let's touch it, and you are seeing second VC, that is go back to first VC. And we were talking about these properties. If I go to second VC, we were talking about these properties: transition, style, and presentation. So you see the second VC is not covering the full screen. So this is the presentation that you can set if you want to want full screen, or you just want this modally present modally. So, and this is the transition style, that is navigation. You are seeing when I'm touching this, it is coming from the bottom. This is the transition style. So if I, you know, cover vertical, and if I change it presentation to full screen, and now if I run it, and now if I click it, you are seeing now it is taking the full screen. So this is how you can set the presentation and transition style, and this is how it will impact your screen. Now let's go to the second VC and create an action for this go back to first VC. Assistant, and drag and drop here, make an action that is go back to first VC, UI button, connect. And we have presented it modally. So when you are presenting some when you're presenting some view controller modally, uh, then to going back or to to close that view controller to that screen, you have to run dismiss on that controller. So self dot dismiss, what it will do, it will it will be dismissing itself. So true. Now if I run it, and if I touch it, and now we are on the second VC. Now if I go back to first VC, you will see it will dismiss itself, and we are we are back to our first view controller. Now if I go to view controller 1, and if I print here, print view will disappear in a moment, in next moment, and print view has been disappeared completely. Now if I run it, now if I if I go to second view controller, you will see if I touch it, now I'm on the second view controller, and first view controller has been disappeared, and you are seeing here that view will disappear in next moment, and view has been disappeared completely. So view will disappear is will be called first, and then view did disappear will be called after the view has been disappeared completely. So this is how these two life cycle method works. Now if I come back to this, and if I change it to, let's just say, instead of presented modally, let's just push it into our navigation container into our navigation stack. So let self dot navigation controller dot push view controller, that is second VC, and go to second. Instead of dismissing, when you are presenting when you are pushing your view controller into the navigation stack, so instead of dismissing, you have to pop back that view controller from the stack. So self dot navigation controller dot pop view controller. True. That is, this is a navigation stack. So after running this pop view controller, it will pop the top view controller. So let's run it. And if I, if I, hit this button, go to second VC, you are seeing now the navigation is coming, into the stack, and there is a back button automatically. You can, of course, you can remove it or hide it, but it is there. And if I hit it, you will you will be going back to the first VC, and if I hit my button, you'll be going to the first VC. So now this is not presenting modally, this is putting it into the stack. Every screen, if I go here and if I present another screen, it will come onto the top of the stack, and another screen, it will come onto the top of the stack, and every time I pop back, it will popping back the top view controller from the navigation stack. So this is how navigation works, and you can also pass some data uh, with the navigation between view controllers. Of course, we will be talking about that in deep into the in our next session. But let's just say, if I create a property here, let for var number int, and if I put it initially 0, and when I am when I'm pushing this navigation controller, before pushing it, when I have created the instance, let's just set it second VC dot number equals to 10. And if I go back here, and if I print it here, print number property number. So if I hit this button, you're seeing number property 10. So this is how you can pass data from one screen to another when you are performing navigation from one view controller to another. And of course, this is just if just one way. There is more ways to pass data from one screen to another, and we'll be talking about this in our next session, which is about the about the navigation between screens. We will be creating a basic app to perform some navigation, and we will be passing some data. We'll be performing some operations between the navigation. So yes, that's it for this session. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet into our next session, which in which we will be discussing about navigation in iOS apps, different type of navigations, and we'll be creating a basic app, which in which we will be implementing navigation stack. We'll be implementing some modal navigation as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.